I'm Bob Andelman, and this is Mr. Media Interview. You can see, hear, and read more than 1,000 of my previous celebrity interviews at mrmedia.com. That's mrmedia.com. Subscribe to the show on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Apple News, Google Play, or Stitcher, and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And if you really like the show, please tell the world with a 5-star review on iTunes. On today's show, I'll share my interview with Dave Brubeck, the jazz legend. It was recorded by phone on September 24th, 1984. And as always, I'm sharing with you an interview I did when I was very young, and in this case, knew very little about Dave Brubeck, and knew even less, I think, about jazz. And I think you'll hear that in the interview. But what are you going to do? I wanted to share it. I'm proud that I got to talk to him. I'm only sorry that I didn't make better use of my time. I hope you'll enjoy this.
I was reading over a lot of material about you, and I was wondering if you remember the first time you ever sang before an audience, and what you may have sang at that time.
What did I sing?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember. No, I'm sorry. I don't remember 43 years ago was the first song I sang. I really don't.
You don't remember? Do you remember who you may have sung for at the time? Whether...
With Earl Hines.
Well, I was thinking even before that. Maybe.
No, I professionally.
Right. Well, I know you used to sing in a church.
Yeah, I sang in church and sang in school. But I thought you knew all that. I thought you meant professionally.
Oh no, I knew you started off with Earl Hines, and.
Well, that's where I started professionally with Earl Hines. And before that, I sang in school, church choirs.
Do you remember? Maybe do you remember when you first got the indication that you could make a career of singing?
Apollo Amateur Hour.
Oh really?
Apollo Amateur Hour in New York City. That's when I went and first got discovered.
Is that where Billy Eckstine saw you?
Yeah, but you're supposed to know all that.
Well, I know most of it.
Because that happened 25 million times. That part you're supposed to know, I guess. But go ahead.
Well,
Apollo Amateur Hour. I was there. Billy Eckstine discovered me, and within 2 weeks I was singing with Earl Hines.
Right, and that was the group that also included Dizzy Gillespie.
1942. No, that was here. Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, Benny Green, Gene Ammons. You guys supposed to know all them things.
Well, I learn as much as I can, ma'am.
Okay.
It's because it's not like a downbeat. It's a daily newspaper. It's the questions and the information is more general than. And if my knowledge is lacking, I do apologize.
That's all right.
I have a great deal of respect for your.
Oh, I love you very much too.
Well, no, I just so you understand,
but I mean, questions like that, I answer so much. I just figure everybody look on the back of my albums and get all that stuff.
Okay. Well, I'll try.
Anyway, go ahead.
We'll try and skip around those. Well, one of the other things somewhat along that line is that you've always had the good fortune right from the beginning to sing and play with some of the best players that have ever been in jazz.
Well, that's the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
And with all those good guys.
I find it to be remarkable that throughout a whole career as full as yours has been, to continually play, there doesn't seem like there's ever been a down period in your career.
Oh, there's been some, but I mean, I guess like in everybody else's life, but you always come through some things.
Yeah. Is there something that you personally would point to as being helpful in your consistency over the years? I mean, your voice has been consistent. You've been
being surrounded by good musicians. I was credited all to around excellent musicians.
Have you got favorites among the many that you played?
All good musicians are my favorites. There's so many of them.
Are the jazz musicians today, the newer ones, do you feel that they're of the same quality and texture of
I don't know. I'm still working, seems like, with the same old bunch of musicians. And now and then again, I run across some new ones, but they're all good. I don't work with bad musicians.
Hmm. Have you been approached much by?
No, usually when I have my own trio.
Right.
That saves me. And my piano player's name is George Gaffney, Gaffney.
Mm-hmm.
Bass player's Andy Simpkins, Simpkins. And Harold Jones.
Jones. Right. Much of your work has been reissued over the years. A lot of the earlier work. A lot of artists who've worked in the 40s and 50s have not owned the rights to a lot of their material. They've kind of lost. Who had? Yeah. Have you made out any better than anyone else? Or?
Oh, I'm the same boat.
So you're not? Are you seeing any royalty? Are you seeing any royalty out of any of the reissues and such?
Oh, in this day now, it's much better to get yourself ownerships and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it's much better nowadays than it was 20 years ago.
Right. Are your recordings from the 40s and 50s, when they're reissued, do you see anything from that?
Beg pardon?
When your recordings of the 40s and 50s are reissued, do you see any profit from that?
Sure, I got new fans.
I just meant in the sense that the original recordings, do you...
I have new records that come out now. I get new young fans. They think it's new albums.
I see what you're saying. I know, in the last couple of years, you released, last, I guess, 4 or 5 years, you've released collections of Gershwin as well as the Beatles. How difficult is it to go from... there's a different style there, and those two are different from something else, and they're different from something else.
Not difficult at all.
No?
No. It's music, you sing it or you don't. It don't make no difference. Not to me.
Mm-hmm. Do you,
I can't sing it, I just don't do it.
Do you still need to spend much time in rehearsal before concerts and such, or
Before concerts?
Well, before concerts,
No, we get off the plane at 4 o'clock, we have a sound check, then we go to work.
Right.
Well, we would have rehearsals, but not before work. We have them when we're off.
I've read a lot about the 3 concert sets you did at Carnegie Hall in '79. I was wondering if you could tell me a little about that. It seems like it was quite a couple of evenings. Some pretty great people accompanied you there.
I don't remember. Well, I remember it, but I did the same song, but I had different backgrounds. I hardly remember it though. It was '79. I work so much I forget.
How much are you on the road now? How many shows a year?
I don't know. I've never figured it out, but I'm going to work. I'll be in Rochester 28th and 29th before I come to New York.
And how much recording are you doing in a year?
I'm about to record with Quincy, or I've already done one song with Barry Manilow. Should be out soon.
Barry Manilow.
Yes.
That strikes me as a very unusual person for you to work with. Although I know you've worked with many people.
We had all jazz musicians on the album, and all the tunes were his, and I think Mel Torme's on it too.
Oh. And then you're going to be recording with Quincy Jones?
It's coming up. We're still talking about it.
What type of album? What type of material will you do you expect that you'll do?
That's what we're talking about.
Oh. Do you have any? I was thinking about Eckstein and Parker and Gillespie, and I was wondering if you had any. If you could sum up your feelings about each of them and
About?
I'm sorry.
About what?
About Billy Eckstein and Charlie Parker and
But next time, if it wasn't Billy Eckstein, I would not even be in show business, I doubt it.
Mm.
Well, he's the best friend I ever had in show business, and we still are. Like last year, we did a tour in England.
Mm-hmm.
Any chance we get together and work, we still do.
And what about the late Charlie Parker?
What about him?
Well,
He was the greatest person on earth playing saxophone.
mm-hmm. I was reading that when you first worked with Dizzy Gillespie, that a lot of the work was not recorded at that time because of the band. Was there a lot of? I mean, I don't know because I wasn't there, but was there a tremendous amount of material that was lost because of the recording band at that time?
Lost?
Well, not recorded.
Oh, I'm sure. Like now, a lot of material's not recorded. But, you know, it's much better now than it was then.
Mm.
But we recorded quite a bit with Billy's band.
Do you find much that women have been and are encouraged to sing with jazz groups, but not so much to be players in trios and such and quartets?
I don't know. I think women just do whatever they want to do. I don't think if they're capable of, they will do it.
Have you ever worked?
Whatever it is. Film music or whatever.
Have you ever had women working within your own groups?
No.
Just curious. Are there? Do you think there are young women now that are singing the same types of songs and with as much range as you have?
I think now that I couldn't catch it. I tell you, I don't know what I got. I just think you can tell me more about that than I can. I just get up and sing, and that's about it.
Well,
I don't know who sings better or worse or got more than I got. I don't know.
Mm.
I just get out there and sing and try to please the people.
Well, let me ask you in a different way. Are there? Well, let me ask you this: Who do you enjoy listening to now? Be it singing or just
singers.
all good singers?
I don't like to pinpoint nothing.
I realize. I'm getting the point.
You know, I don't like to do that.
All right.
I have my own tapes here. I have my music and what I like, and I get in my car and go. I don't turn on the radio.
Mm.
Lousy.
Let me ask you one more question, Ms. Fawn, and I'll let you go. I'm just curious if you have found over the years if there is a particular instrument that you like more so than another to accompany you when you're singing, that you're more comfortable with, whether it be
You mean a group?
No, would you prefer if it was just yourself and another and one player? If it was a pianist, if it was
My trio.
Your trio.
That's it. I got the best trio in the world. I think.
Well, I have no doubt that you're probably right. Well, I don't know. I appreciate your time this morning.
I don't think you got too much information.
Well,
I did the best I could.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I really did, and I didn't mean to seem like I wasn't aware of your accomplishments. I am.
Where are you, New York?
Excuse me?
Rochester.
Rochester?
Where are you from?
Clearwater. You'll be at the Clearwater. You'll be playing in Clearwater on the 22nd or 23rd of October.
Oh yeah.
The Clearwater Jazz Festival.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Nice talking with you.
It was nice talking with you. I'm glad we got to speak.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Lights on the streets now. receiver. It's a bad idea to believe her. A bad idea to believe her. Turn up the stereo receiver. Turn up the stereo receiver.
Mr. Media is recorded live before a studio audience of Saturday Night Fever fans who left the theater and couldn't stop cursing like a mofo for months. Or maybe that was just me? In the new media capital of the world, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Hi, this is Rich Scheidner. And if you've ever wondered what it was like to be a stand-up comedian in the 1980s, I'm going to do you a big favor. Instead of billions of dollars for a time machine, you can just spend $24.95 and buy my new book, Kicking Through the Ashes, My Life as a Stand-Up in the 1980s Comedy Boom. It will save you money and give you thrills. It will take you there. Go to my website, richscheidner.com, go to amazon.com, and buy this book.